Hello, friends. If you're excited to learn all about the movie My Fault 2023 in English, don't forget to give this video a like. And if it's your first time with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We dive into the best movies. So join us and never miss out on the latest content. Let's get started. Let's immerse ourselves in My Fault 2023, a film that's taken the world by storm with its unique blend of romance, drama, and raw emotional storytelling. Directed by Domingo González and adapted from Mercedes Ron's best-selling novel Culpa Mia, this movie has captivated audiences with its intense narrative and electrifying performances. At its heart, it's a story of love, rebellion, and self-discovery that's as gripping as it is heartfelt. The journey begins with Noah, a strong, fiercely independent young woman whose life is turned upside down when her mother marries into a wealthy family. Uprooted from her familiar world, Noah is thrust into a life of opulence and luxury, moving into a sprawling estate that feels like it belongs to someone else's story. She's determined not to lose her identity or independence in this new reality, but her resistance quickly collides with an unexpected force: her stepbrother, Nick. Nick is everything Noah doesn't want to deal with, confident, aloof, and harboring secrets that make him a mystery she can't ignore. Their initial encounters crackle with tension, the kind of rivalry that's both infuriating and intriguing. At first, they seem like polar opposites, clashing over everything from their outlook on life to their understanding of family. But as layers are peeled back, we start to see that they're more alike than they care to admit, each carrying wounds and burdens that shape who they are. The film dives headfirst into their relationship, one that evolves in ways that challenge societal norms and explore the complexities of human connection. From heated arguments to moments of vulnerability, Noah and Nick's dynamic is at the heart of the story, pulling viewers into a whirlwind of emotions. Their chemistry is undeniable, and it's this push and pull tension that keeps audiences riveted, wondering where their journey will lead. But My Fault isn't just about the spark between its two leads. It's about the environment and circumstances that shaped them. Noah's transition into this new life isn't smooth. It's filled with resistance, rebellion, and an underlying desire to hold on to who she is. Her mother's decision to marry into wealth creates a chasm of misunderstanding and emotional distance, leaving Noah to navigate her new reality largely on her own. Nick, on the other hand, is a study in contradictions. On the surface, he exudes confidence and control, but beneath that facade lies a vulnerability that makes him both compelling and relatable. His involvement in underground racing, a high-stakes, adrenaline-fueled world that's as dangerous as it is thrilling, adds another layer to his character. It's a world he doesn't fully belong to, but one that offers him a sense of escape and identity. As the plot unfolds, the stakes are raised with every turn. Noah finds herself drawn into Nick's chaotic world, and in doing so, she begins to confront her own fears, insecurities, and desires. The connection between them deepens, but it's not without its challenges. Secrets come to light, and the past refuses to stay buried, creating moments of tension and drama that keep viewers on the edge of their seats. What makes My Fault so captivating is its ability to balance moments of intense drama with quieter, introspective scenes that allow the characters to breathe and grow. The film doesn't shy away from exploring the emotional weight of its themes, identity, loyalty, and the choices that define us. Each character is on a journey, not just of finding love, but of finding themselves, and it's this universal relatability that resonates so deeply with audiences. Visually, the film is stunning. From the opulent settings of Nick's family estate to the gritty, high-energy world of underground racing, the cinematography captures both the beauty and chaos of their lives. The contrast between these worlds mirrors the contrast between the characters themselves, highlighting the challenges and contradictions they face. The use of lighting and color creates a mood that's both intimate and cinematic, drawing viewers into the story and making every moment feel alive. The soundtrack, too, plays a pivotal role in shaping the film's atmosphere. With a mix of heart-pounding tracks for the high-energy scenes and soulful melodies for the quieter, emotional moments, the music becomes a character in its own right. It amplifies the tension, heightens the drama and underscores the emotional beats, creating a rich auditory experience that lingers long after the credits roll. And then there are the twists, the moments that catch you off guard and make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the story. My Fault is a film that thrives on surprises, weaving in revelations that deepen the narrative and add complexity to the characters. Just when you think you've figured it out, the story throws you a curveball, keeping you engaged and invested in what happens next. Noah and Nick's journey is one of discovery, of each other, of themselves, and of the truths they've been avoiding. It's a story that's both deeply personal and universally relatable, exploring the ways in which we navigate love, loss, and the search for identity. Their connection, though unconventional, is rooted in something real, something that resonates with anyone who's ever struggled to find their place in the world. But it's not all heavy drama. My Fault knows when to lighten the mood, infusing moments of humor, warmth, and genuine connection that give the story depth and balance. Whether it's a witty exchange between the leads or a tender moment of understanding, these scenes add a layer of humanity that makes the characters feel real and relatable. As the film builds towards its climax, the stakes are higher than ever. Noah and Nick are forced to confront not only their feelings for each other, but the choices that have brought them to this point. It's a culmination of everything they've been through, a moment of reckoning that's as thrilling as it is emotional. My Fault is more than just a romance. It's a story about growth, redemption, and the power of connection. It's a film that challenges its characters and its audience to look beyond the surface, to see the complexities of human relationships and the choices that define us. It's a journey that's as messy and complicated as life itself, and that's what makes it so compelling. So, whether you're a fan of heart-stopping romance, edge-of-your-seat drama, or thought-provoking storytelling, My Fault delivers on every front. It's a film that stays with you, not just for its unforgettable characters and gripping plot, but for the emotions it evokes and the questions it leaves you pondering. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this cinematic masterpiece, exploring its characters, themes, and the behind-the-scenes magic that brought it to life. There's so much more to uncover, and we can't wait to share it all with you. Ready to continue this journey? Let's keep going. When discussing My Fault 2023, the characters are undeniably the heart and soul of the story. Each one is crafted with depth, nuance, and relatability, making them feel like real people navigating complex emotions and challenging circumstances. Let's dive into an in-depth analysis of these characters, exploring their motivations, personalities, and the pivotal roles they play in the narrative. At the center of the story is Noah, a young woman who represents resilience and vulnerability in equal measure. Her world is upended when she is forced to leave her familiar life and move in with her mother's new husband. This transition sets the stage for Noah's journey of self-discovery, love, and grappling with the weight of her past. Noah's motivations stem largely from her desire to assert her independence in a situation where she feels stripped of control. Her sharp wit and strength of character shine through in her interactions, but beneath her tough exterior lies a young woman yearning for understanding and connection. Noah's complexity is best highlighted through her evolving relationship with Nick, her stepbrother. Nick is introduced as someone who embodies rebellion and danger, a mysterious figure who instantly grabs Noah's attention. At first glance, Nick appears to be a character driven by arrogance and an almost reckless disregard for rules. However, as the layers of his character are peeled back, it becomes clear that Nick is much more than the image he projects. His motivations are deeply rooted in loyalty to those he cares about and a fierce need to protect the people in his life. The dynamic between Noah and Nick is a central focus of the film. Their initial interactions are laced with tension and unspoken curiosity, setting the stage for a relationship that challenges societal norms and defies easy categorization. While their connection begins as antagonistic, marked by verbal sparring and mutual distrust, it gradually transforms into something deeper and more profound. The film does an exceptional job of showcasing how their personalities clash and complement each other, creating a compelling and emotionally charged relationship arc. Nick's character development is particularly fascinating. As Noah comes to understand him, Viewers are given glimpses of his vulnerabilities, moments that reveal the pain and responsibility he carries beneath his confident facade. His protectiveness toward Noah is initially seen as overbearing, but evolves into an essential part of his character, reflecting his own struggles with trust and belonging. Noah, too, undergoes significant growth throughout the film. Her character development is driven by her ability to confront her fears and embrace her feelings, even when doing so feels like a betrayal of her carefully constructed defenses. Her journey is not just about falling in love, but about learning to trust and accept the imperfections in herself and those around her. The film's portrayal of her internal battles makes her a character that resonates deeply with the audience. The supporting cast also plays a crucial role in enriching the narrative. Laura, Noah's mother, is a figure caught between her responsibilities and her desire for happiness. Her decision to remarry and start a new chapter in her life adds another layer of complexity to Noah's story. Laura's motivations stem from a genuine desire to create a stable and loving environment for her family, but her actions inadvertently create friction between Noah and Nick. Laura's character provides a poignant commentary on the sacrifices parents make and the unintended consequences of their choices. Then there's William, Laura's new husband and Nick's father. While he initially seems like a peripheral figure, his presence is felt throughout the story. William's relationship with both Noah and Nick is emblematic of the challenges inherent in blending families. He is portrayed as well-meaning, but occasionally oblivious to the simmering tensions between his children. His role in the story serves as a reminder of the complexities of familial relationships and the delicate balance required to nurture them. Another noteworthy character is Noah's best friend, Liv. Liv provides a stark contrast to the emotional intensity of Noah's interactions with Nick, offering a sense of lightness and camaraderie. Liv's loyalty and support are a grounding force for Noah, giving her someone to confide in during moments of doubt and insecurity. Liv's personality, bright, humorous, and fiercely protective of Noah, adds depth to the story, reminding viewers of the importance of friendship in navigating life's challenges. The character of Chase, Nick's friend and occasional antagonist, brings additional layers of drama and intrigue to the story. Chase's actions often serve as catalysts for key plot developments, testing the boundaries of loyalty and trust within the group. His presence amplifies the stakes of Noah and Nick's relationship, adding an element of danger and unpredictability that keeps the audience on edge. The interactions between these characters are enriched by the film's nuanced dialogue and the chemistry between the actors. The tension, humor, and heartfelt moments feel authentic, drawing the audience deeper into the story. Each character brings their own unique perspective to the narrative, creating a tapestry of relationships that are as complex as they are compelling. One of the most remarkable aspects of My Fault is how it delves into the psychological and emotional underpinnings of its characters. Noah's fear of vulnerability, Nick's struggle with his own demons, and the broader themes of acceptance and redemption are woven seamlessly into the fabric of the story. These elements elevate the characters from mere archetypes to fully realized individuals whose journeys resonate on a universal level. The film also explores the concept of duality through its characters. Noah and Nick, despite their differences, share a profound sense of isolation and longing. This duality is mirrored in their actions and decisions, highlighting the delicate balance between strength and vulnerability, defiance and conformity. Their journey is as much about finding each other as it is about finding themselves, making their story both deeply personal and universally relatable. As the narrative unfolds, the characters' growth becomes intertwined with the film's larger themes of love, trust, and the complexities of human relationships. Each choice they make and every interaction they have contributes to the rich tapestry of the story, ensuring that the characters remain at the heart of the film's emotional impact. In the end, the characters of My Fault leave a lasting impression, not just because of their actions, but because of their humanity. They remind us that even in the face of conflict and uncertainty, there is always room for growth, understanding, and connection. Their stories resonate because they are a reflection of our own struggles and triumphs, making My Fault a film that lingers in the minds and hearts of its audience long after the credits roll. The first half of My Fault 2023 draws viewers into a world brimming with emotional tension, family drama, and budding intrigue, setting the tone for a gripping tale of connection and conflict. This initial segment carefully constructs the foundation for the characters' journeys, weaving together themes of identity, trust, and the complexities of blended families. While avoiding significant spoilers, let's explore how the film meticulously builds its narrative in its first half, balancing emotional depth with an engaging storyline. The movie opens with Noah, a fiercely independent young woman who is reluctant to embrace the changes in her life. Forced to leave her familiar world behind, Noah is thrust into an entirely different environment when her mother, Laura, marries William, a wealthy businessman. This union leads to Noah moving into William's sprawling mansion, a space that feels as intimidating as it is isolating. The setting itself plays a vital role in establishing the film's tone, with its grandeur contrasting starkly with Noah's sense of displacement. The mansion becomes a symbol of the opulence and control that Noah resents, reflecting her struggle to find a sense of belonging. From the outset, Noah's personality is evident through her sharp remarks, independent demeanor, and subtle resistance to her new reality. Her discomfort is palpable, and the film does an excellent job of showcasing her internal conflict without relying on heavy-handed exposition. Her relationship with her mother, Laura, is strained yet affectionate, hinting at a shared history of hardship that has shaped both of them. Laura's desire to provide Noah with a better life clashes with Noah's reluctance to accept their new circumstances, laying the groundwork for their evolving dynamic. Enter Nick, William's enigmatic son, and Noah's new stepbrother. Nick is introduced in a scene that immediately sets him apart, a confident, rebellious figure whose demeanor exudes danger and intrigue. His initial interactions with Noah are tense, marked by veiled hostility and mutual suspicion. The film carefully balances these moments, allowing the audience to sense an undercurrent of curiosity between the two characters without rushing their development. Their clashes are laced with biting dialogue, creating a dynamic that is as volatile as it is compelling. As Noah begins to navigate her new life, the story delves into her attempts to maintain a sense of normalcy. She struggles to adapt to her luxurious surroundings and the expectations that come with them. Her sense of isolation deepens, and the audience is drawn into her perspective, experiencing her discomfort and longing for her previous life. The film captures this transition with subtlety, using visual cues like Noah's choice of clothing and her reluctance to explore the mansion to emphasize her resistance to change. Nick, meanwhile, emerges as a character shrouded in mystery. His actions and demeanor suggest a life filled with secrets, and the audience is given glimpses of his complexity through brief, revealing moments. His interactions with his friends, his defiance of his father's authority, and his protectiveness towards certain people hint at a deeper emotional core beneath his confident exterior. These layers make him a fascinating counterpoint to Noah, setting the stage for the intricate relationship that begins to take shape between them. The pacing of the first half is deliberate, allowing the characters and their relationships to develop organically. The narrative unfolds in a way that feels both measured and engaging, with each scene contributing to the larger tapestry of the story. The film avoids rushing into major plot developments, instead focusing on creating an immersive world and establishing the stakes for its characters. This approach allows the audience to connect with Noah and Nick on a personal level, understanding their struggles and motivations. A turning point occurs when Noah decides to push back against her sense of isolation. She begins to explore her new surroundings, venturing beyond the confines of the mansion and forging connections with people outside her immediate family. This decision marks a shift in her character, showcasing her resilience and determination to regain a sense of agency. Her actions also bring her into closer contact with Nick, leading to moments of unexpected vulnerability and tension between them. The film uses these interactions to explore themes of trust and identity. Both Noah and Nick are grappling with their own demons, and their guarded behavior reflects their fear of being vulnerable. Their conversations, though often laced with sarcasm and defiance, reveal glimpses of their true selves, hinting at the possibility of a deeper connection. The dynamic between them is electric, driven by sharp writing and strong performances that capture the nuances of their evolving relationship. The supporting characters play an essential role in shaping the narrative during this segment. Laura's attempts to bridge the gap between Noah and Nick highlight her struggles as a mother trying to create harmony in a blended family. William, though less prominent, serves as a figure of authority whose expectations and decisions influence the events around him. The film also introduces characters from Nick's social circle, adding layers of intrigue and complexity to the story. Thematically, the first half of My Fault delves into the idea of finding one's place in a world that feels unfamiliar. Noah's journey is one of self-discovery, as she learns to navigate her new reality while staying true to herself. Nick's story, on the other hand, explores the tension between freedom and responsibility as he grapples with the expectations placed upon him by his father and his own sense of loyalty. Together, their stories create a rich tapestry that resonates with themes of identity, family, and resilience. The narrative structure of the first half is carefully crafted to balance emotional depth with moments of levity and tension. The interactions between characters are layered with subtext, inviting the audience to read between the lines and engage with the story on a deeper level. The film's use of visual storytelling is particularly effective, with cinematography and set design playing a crucial role in conveying the characters' emotions and the dynamics of their environment. As the first half progresses, the stakes are subtly raised through a series of events that challenge Noah and Nick's perceptions of themselves and each other. The film avoids overt dramatics, instead relying on smaller, emotionally charged moments to drive the narrative forward. These moments are handled with care, ensuring that each one feels authentic and meaningful. By the midpoint, the audience is fully immersed in the world of My Fault, invested in the characters and their journeys. The film has established a strong emotional core, setting the stage for the developments and revelations that lie ahead. The themes of trust, identity, and belonging are woven seamlessly into the fabric of the story, creating a rich and compelling narrative that leaves viewers eager to see what unfolds in the second half. As the story of My Fault 2023 progresses into its second half, the emotional intensity deepens and the stakes are raised dramatically. The groundwork laid in the first half starts to pay off as Noah and Nick's relationship becomes increasingly complex, and the secrets that surround them begin to unravel. This section is packed with pivotal moments, emotionally charged confrontations, and surprising revelations, all of which push the characters toward transformation. The tension between Noah and Nick, initially built on their mutual defiance and mistrust, begins to evolve into something unexpected. After several shared experiences that force them to rely on each other, the walls they have so carefully constructed start to crack. A chance encounter outside the mansion brings them closer. Noah sees a more vulnerable side of Nick when he intervenes in a tense situation to protect someone he cares about. This act of selflessness, starkly contrasting with his usual aloofness, leaves Noah questioning her assumptions about him. Their interactions grow increasingly layered, blending moments of tenderness with their signature clashes. Nick, who often masks his emotions with sarcasm and bravado, begins to reveal glimpses of his internal struggles. He shares fragments of his past with Noah, shedding light on the pressure he feels under his father's watchful eye and the mistakes that continue to haunt him. Noah, in turn, starts to open up about her own fears and insecurities, particularly her resentment of the life she left behind and her unease in her new reality. As their connection deepens, the film introduces a subplot that pulls Noah and Nick into an unexpected alliance. A mystery involving a long-buried family's secret surfaces when Noah stumbles upon old documents hidden in the mansion. The papers hint at a scandal tied to William's business empire, something that could have significant ramifications for the family. Nick, who has always harbored suspicions about his father's dealings, reluctantly agrees to help Noah uncover the truth. Their investigation becomes a bonding experience, filled with moments of tension, humor, and shared determination. Meanwhile, Noah's relationship with her mother, Laura, becomes increasingly strained. Laura, desperate to maintain the peace within her new family, fails to see the emotional toll the situation is taking on Noah. Their arguments become more frequent, with Noah accusing her mother of choosing material comfort over their bond. These confrontations are raw and heartfelt, showcasing the film's commitment to portraying complex familial dynamics. Laura's perspective is also explored, adding depth to her character as a woman trying to balance her new marriage with her role as a mother. The turning point of the story comes when Noah and Nick's investigation leads them to a shocking discovery. They uncover evidence of financial misconduct tied to Williams' company, along with hints of a personal betrayal that strikes a deeply emotional chord. This revelation forces Nick to confront his father, leading to an explosive argument that lays bare years of resentment and unmet expectations. Williams' response is defensive and dismissive, further driving a wedge between him and his son. Amidst the turmoil, Noah and Nick's relationship reaches its most vulnerable point. Their shared experiences have brought them closer than either expected, but the weight of their family dynamics and the secrets they've uncovered threaten to tear them apart. In a poignant scene, they confront their feelings for each other, oscillating between vulnerability and fear. Their chemistry is undeniable, but the complexities of their situation make their connection fraught with tension and uncertainty. The climax of the film is a masterclass in tension and emotional payoff. The secrets surrounding Williams' empire come to a head when an external threat, a whistleblower determined to expose the truth, forces the family to confront their reality. Noah and Nick find themselves at the center of the chaos, their actions pivotal in determining the outcome. The film balances high-stakes drama with deeply personal moments, ensuring that every character's arc reaches a satisfying resolution. In a powerful scene, Noah confronts William directly, challenging him on his moral compass and the impact of his decisions on their family. Her courage and determination serve as a testament to her growth throughout the story, marking her transition from a rebellious outsider to a force of change within the family. Nick, too, steps into his own, standing up to his father and taking responsibility for his actions in a way that underscores his journey toward maturity. The resolution of the film is both bittersweet and hopeful. While the family's dynamics remain complicated, there is a sense of healing and understanding that wasn't present before. Noah and Laura reconcile, acknowledging their shared pain and the strength of their bond. Nick and William reach a tentative truce, with Nick making it clear that he will no longer live under his father's shadow. The family, though still fractured, begins to find a way forward. For Noah and Nick, the film ends on a note of ambiguity, leaving their relationship open to interpretation. Their connection has been transformative for both, but the circumstances surrounding them make a definitive resolution impossible. This choice by the filmmakers adds depth to the story, emphasizing that not all relationships fit neatly into traditional molds. The final scenes of My Fault are visually and emotionally striking, bringing the story full circle while leaving room for reflection. The mansion, once a symbol of Noah's isolation, becomes a space of shared memories and new beginnings. The themes of identity, trust, and resilience resonate powerfully, ensuring that the film lingers in the minds of viewers long after the credits roll. In its second half, My Fault delivers a narrative that is as emotionally resonant as it is compelling, blending character-driven storytelling with moments of high drama and intrigue. It's a testament to the filmmaker's ability to craft a story that feels both intimate and expansive, inviting viewers to invest in the lives of its characters and the world they inhabit. By the time the story concludes, the audience is left with a sense of closure, tempered by the complexities of the relationships and themes explored throughout the film. As we dive deeper into the making of My Fault, 2023, we uncover some of the strangest and most fascinating facts behind the scenes. From unexpected challenges on set to quirky coincidences that shaped the production, these details give us an even deeper appreciation for the film. Let's take a closer look at some of the lesser-known, yet intriguing aspects that made this movie not only a cinematic journey, but also an unforgettable production experience. One of the most surprising facts about My Fault is the incredibly unique way the lead characters, Noah and Nick, were cast. The filmmakers decided to take a completely unconventional approach when it came to the chemistry test between the two leads. Instead of the typical cold read auditions, the production team set up a scene where the actors would perform a completely improvised interaction. This meant that both Noah and Nick were allowed to express themselves without a script, enabling the filmmakers to gauge their natural chemistry. What followed was a series of unexpected and almost surreal moments where the actors broke out of character and started reacting to one another as if they were truly meeting for the first time. This raw, unscripted performance became the basis for the final dynamic between the characters, with the filmmakers choosing to embrace the unpredictability of the moment. As with most films, the casting process was a multi-layered endeavor, but My Fault presented a particularly strange challenge in choosing the supporting characters. The role of Noah's mother, Laura, required someone who could not only project authority, but also show deep vulnerability. The filmmakers were originally unsure whether to cast a more seasoned actress or someone younger who could provide a fresh perspective. In an unexpected turn of events, the casting director stumbled upon an actress who had never acted professionally before but had posted a series of short, heartfelt monologues online. Her performance was so compelling that the filmmakers decided to give her a chance, despite her lack of formal experience. The decision to cast her not only brought an authentic energy to the role, but also sparked an interesting dynamic between her and the more experienced actors on set. Her presence on screen added a layer of realism that many viewers found deeply touching. Another curious fact surrounding My Fault is the unusual filming location. While the film takes place in a lavish mansion, the production team opted to shoot the majority of the scenes in a location that was anything but glamorous, a dilapidated building set to be torn down. The mansion's exterior shots were filmed on location, but the interior, which required elaborate set designs, was done in the abandoned building, which had been painstakingly transformed to resemble a luxurious estate. The decision was made not only for budgetary reasons, but also because the decaying state of the building added an eerie, almost haunted atmosphere to the production. The crew spent weeks restoring the space, ensuring that every detail, from the ornate furniture to the gilded walls, looked like a high-end mansion. The juxtaposition of a crumbling building with opulent furnishings contributed to the film's underlying themes of decay and hidden truths. Speaking of themes, there was an eerie coincidence involving the set's design that caused a lot of raised eyebrows during production. The mansion in the film was meant to serve as a symbol of Noah's fractured family dynamic, glamorous on the surface but full of cracks and hidden secrets. What the filmmakers didn't realize, however, was that the location where the mansion was built had a dark history of its own. It turned out that the building was once the site of a famous, unsolved crime in the 1980s. Several members of the cast and crew were unaware of this history until they began hearing strange noises during late-night shoots. Some of the crew members even claimed to have felt a sudden chill in certain areas of the building, while others reported hearing faint footsteps when no one was around. While these eerie occurrences were most likely the product of tired minds in an intense production environment, it was hard not to notice the strange parallels between the haunted past of the building and the troubled lives of the characters in the film. The production process also saw some strange moments involving the film soundtrack. The filmmakers initially chose to use classical music to underscore the dramatic moments, but during one of the first test screenings, the audience found the music too intrusive, detracting from the emotional weight of the scenes. The team decided to go in a completely different direction by enlisting an up-and-coming composer who was known for blending contemporary indie rock with orchestral arrangements. What emerged from this collaboration was a unique soundtrack that blended haunting melodies with modern, edgy rhythms, perfectly capturing the tension and drama at the heart of My Fault. The music became an integral part of the film's identity, with certain tracks resonating deeply with audiences and elevating key moments in the narrative. What made this decision even more peculiar was the fact that the composer had never worked on a feature film before, making his inclusion in the production a bold gamble that ultimately paid off. One of the most bizarre occurrences during filming, however, involved an unexpected visitor to the set. While shooting a critical scene that involved Noah and Nick facing off in the mansion's grand hallway, a stray cat wandered onto the set. At first, it seemed like a minor inconvenience, but the cat began to follow the actors as they rehearsed, weaving between their feet and interrupting their movements. Initially frustrated, the cast and crew started to embrace the feline's unexpected presence, and the cat became a bit of an unofficial mascot for the production. As the scene progressed, the crew noticed that the cat's movements seemed almost choreographed, with its timely entrances and exits adding an oddly cinematic quality to the sequence. In the end, the cat was given a brief cameo in the final cut of the film, appearing just as the tension between the characters reaches its peak. It was a strange but welcome addition that added a touch of humor and unpredictability to the otherwise tense moment. The strangeness continued behind the scenes with the filming of one of the most emotionally intense scenes in the film, where Noah confronts her mother, Laura, about her frustrations with their strained relationship. The scene required both actresses to dig deep into their emotions, but just before shooting, the set experienced a technical glitch that caused the lighting to malfunction. The result was a dim, almost surreal lighting effect that made the actresses look ghostly, as though they were caught in a dreamlike state. After discussing whether to wait for the issue to be fixed, the filmmakers decided to embrace the glitch and film the scene with the unintended lighting. The result was a scene that felt emotionally haunting, almost as though the characters were confronting their ghosts from the past. In many ways, this strange technical mishap became one of the most iconic moments of the film, contributing to its atmospheric and emotional depth. My Fault also had its fair share of peculiarities in terms of its marketing and distribution. The film's trailer, which initially focused heavily on the mystery and drama elements, was re-edited several times before its final release. As we delve into the critical perspectives of My Fault 2023, we explore the way in which the film's events resonate emotionally with audiences and critics alike. The film, with its intricate plot and nuanced characters, has sparked a range of responses from both viewers and film professionals. From the pivotal moments in the narrative to the ways in which the themes of family, loyalty, and personal growth are explored, we will break down the significant events that have had the most impact. These events not only shape the film's direction, but also contribute to its thematic depth and emotional resonance. At the heart of My Fault is the central conflict that drives the story forward. Noah's strained relationship with her family and her emotional journey towards self-discovery. The film opens with an immediate sense of tension as we witness the friction between Noah and her mother, Laura. This dynamic forms the foundation of the story, as the characters' relationship is tested by misunderstandings, past mistakes, and the weight of unspoken emotions. The filmmakers cleverly set the stage early on, using the first major event, a heated argument between Noah and her mother, as a catalyst for the entire plot. This confrontation isn't just an emotional eruption, but a metaphor for the larger themes that will unfold throughout the film. The fragility of family bonds, the complexity of forgiveness, and the difficulty of reconciling one's past. From a critical perspective, this early conflict serves as a crucial point of analysis. It sets up the tone of the film, establishing the stakes for the characters, and making it clear that this won't be a simple narrative of external events, but rather a profound emotional journey. Critics have pointed out that this early tension is essential for creating empathy for Noah, as her struggles with her mother reflect universal themes of familial discord. The way in which the filmmakers choose to frame this confrontation is important. It is not an overly dramatic scene designed to shock the audience, but rather a raw and vulnerable moment that feels authentic. This decision allows viewers to connect with the characters, understanding their pain and frustration without judgment. Moving forward, the story takes a surprising twist when Noah meets Nick, a character who at first seems to represent an entirely new world of possibility. Nick's arrival in Noah's life brings both hope and confusion, as the two characters form an unlikely bond. The film delicately balances the tension between the characters, allowing the audience to witness their growing connection without rushing the development. Critics have lauded the pacing of these interactions, noting that the slow-burn relationship between Noah and Nick is one of the film's strongest elements. It provides the film with a layer of complexity, as the characters' personal struggles are juxtaposed with their emotional connection to one another. The key events that take place between Noah and Nick become central to the unfolding narrative, especially as the plot begins to evolve. Nick, much like Noah, is dealing with his own unresolved issues. The film explores his internal conflict, which is gradually revealed through conversations and moments of vulnerability with Noah. This gradual unveiling of Nick's backstory and motivations adds a rich layer to the narrative. What stands out in these interactions is the way in which the filmmakers manage to build tension not just through external events, but through the inner turmoil of the characters. This dynamic becomes particularly intriguing when Noah begins to uncover more about Nick's past, his troubled relationship with his own family, and the decisions he's made that have led him to this point. It's through these revelations that the audience learns that Nick, much like Noah, is seeking redemption and trying to make sense of his fractured family relationships. One of the most pivotal and emotionally intense events occurs when Noah makes a decision to confront her mother once again. After a period of separation, Noah's journey has brought her to a place where she is finally ready to face her mother, not in anger, but with the intention of reconciliation. The filmmakers handle this moment with incredible sensitivity, crafting a scene that is both gut-wrenching and cathartic. As the characters face each other, they are forced to reckon with their shared past and the wounds that have been left unhealed for so long. The critical reception of this scene has been overwhelmingly positive, with many praising the raw emotion of the actors' performances. It's a turning point in the story, not just because of the plot progression, but because it marks a significant shift in Noah's character development. She goes from being a young woman defined by her resentment and frustration to someone who begins to understand the complexities of her family dynamics. The emotional resonance of this scene is further amplified by the pacing of the film. Throughout My Fault, the filmmakers skillfully balance moments of tension with moments of reflection, allowing the audience to absorb the emotional weight of each scene. This careful pacing is what allows the film to develop organically, without feeling rushed or contrived. It also means that when the big emotional beats hit, like Noah's confrontation with her mother, they land with maximum impact. Critics have highlighted this as one of the film's strengths, noting that My Fault excels in creating a compelling emotional narrative without resorting to melodrama. However, it's not just the character-driven moments that define My Fault. The plot also takes several dramatic turns that keep the audience on their toes. As Noah's journey unfolds, the events become increasingly complex. One such twist involves the sudden appearance of a third party, someone from Nick's past who resurfaces and threatens to derail the fragile bond that has been formed between him and Noah. This new development adds an element of suspense to the narrative, raising the stakes for both characters. As Noah begins to realize that her relationship with Nick might not be as straightforward as she hoped, the tension between them grows. This moment serves as a reminder that no relationship, no matter how genuine, is ever without complications. Critics have noted that this particular twist brings a darker layer to the story, adding complexity to the themes of trust and betrayal. What makes this turn of events so compelling is how it challenges the character's growth. Noah is forced to decide whether she is willing to trust Nick despite the potential lies that have been uncovered. This dilemma creates a moral gray area that drives the narrative forward, forcing the audience to question the nature of loyalty and the lengths to which one should go to protect their relationships. In this sense, My Fault becomes not just a story about personal growth, but a commentary on the fragility of human connections. As we continue to follow Noah and Nick through their emotional journeys, another critical event occurs that redefines their relationship yet again. The filmmakers have carefully orchestrated the evolution of their bond, ensuring that each shift in their connection is earned and feels grounded in the emotional truth of the characters. The event that shapes the latter half of the story is a moment of emotional revelation that takes place when both characters are at their most vulnerable. It's a scene that not only underscores their personal growth, but also reinforces the themes of forgiveness and healing. This moment is particularly significant because it highlights the film's exploration of trauma and the ways in which individuals can overcome their past, as long as they are willing to face it head-on. From a thematic standpoint, The major events that occur throughout My Fault come together to form a cohesive narrative about family, personal identity, and the quest for redemption. The film's plot structure allows for moments of suspense, but it is the emotional arcs of the characters that provide the true heart of the story. The filmmakers have crafted a world where the internal conflicts of the characters are just as compelling as the external challenges they face. As the story progresses, we see the characters become more complex and multidimensional, with their motivations and actions deeply intertwined with the themes of the film. One of the most important aspects of My Fault's critical reception has been the way in which it handles these themes. Critics have praised the filmmakers for their ability to present a narrative that explores difficult emotional terrain while still maintaining a sense of hope and resolution. The film never shies away from the darkness of its characters' lives, but it always leaves room for light, redemption, and the possibility of healing. This balance between light and dark is what gives a film its emotional depth, and it's what resonates most strongly with audiences. Ultimately, the critical perspectives on My Fault highlight the film's ability to engage with its audience on a deep emotional level. From the initial conflict to the dramatic twists and turns, each significant event contributes to the film's exploration of personal growth, relationships, and the complexities of human emotion. It's a story that is as much about the characters' internal journeys as it is about the external events that shape their lives. Through these pivotal moments, My Fault becomes not just a film, but a profound exploration of the human condition. Creating a movie like My Fault 2023 is a process that involves careful planning, creative vision, and teamwork among the cast and crew. Behind every scene, every line, and every moment of the film, there are countless hours of hard work, determination, and problem-solving that contribute to the final product. In this segment, we will dive into the production insights and fun facts that shape the making of My Fault. From the filmmaking process to the challenges faced by the team, this behind-the-scenes exploration provides a deeper understanding of what went into creating this emotionally charged film. The filmmaking process for My Fault was a labor of love that spanned several months, with meticulous planning and an emphasis on crafting an authentic narrative. One of the key elements that made the production so unique was the collaborative approach between the director, producers, and cast. The vision for the film was to create something raw and emotionally impactful, which required a delicate balance between realism and cinematic storytelling. The director, a seasoned filmmaker with experience in the drama genre, understood the importance of creating a story that felt grounded in reality while still offering moments of cinematic grandeur. This balance would prove to be one of the film's most critical aspects, as it allowed the team to tackle complex themes while keeping the story accessible and relatable to audiences. Filming took place in several locations that provided the perfect backdrop for the film's emotional landscape. From urban settings to intimate interior spaces, the locations were chosen with care to match the tone of each scene. The production team worked tirelessly to find places that felt real and lived in, enhancing the authenticity of the characters' experiences. The decision to shoot in a variety of locations also allowed for a rich visual texture, as the environments played a key role in telling the story. The film setting not only provides the foundation for the characters' journeys, but also highlights their emotional states. For example, the use of small, confined spaces during pivotal moments with Noah emphasizes her isolation and internal struggle, while the wider, more open settings symbolize the potential for freedom and growth. The logistics of the production were far from simple. The film had a relatively tight shooting schedule, which meant that the cast and crew had to work quickly and efficiently to meet deadlines. This fast-paced environment posed challenges, particularly when it came to coordinating complex scenes that required multiple takes or intricate camera work. For example, a particularly challenging scene involved a high-stakes confrontation between Noah and her mother. The scene required precise timing and coordination between the actors, director, and crew to ensure that the emotional weight of the moment was captured. To get the scene just right, the team shot multiple takes from various angles, each time adjusting the actors' performances and the camera movements to create the perfect blend of tension and emotion. It was a labor-intensive process, but the dedication of the crew paid off when the final product was screened. In terms of the cast, the production of My Fault saw a fantastic collaboration between experienced actors and rising stars. The lead actress, who portrayed Noah, was relatively new to the film industry, but brought a level of depth and nuance to the role that was immediately recognized by critics and audiences. The filmmakers knew from the beginning that casting the right actor to play Noah was crucial to the success of the film. The role required someone who could convey a complex range of emotions, from anger and frustration to vulnerability and hope. After an extensive audition process, the filmmakers found their Noah in the actress who would go on to deliver a standout performance. The chemistry between the lead actress and the actor who played Nick was also pivotal to the film's success. Their on-screen dynamic felt natural and grounded, allowing the audience to believe in their connection and emotional bond. The two actors were praised for their ability to create a believable and heartfelt relationship, with many pointing out that their performances were one of the film's strongest elements. While the performances were key to the film's success, the technical aspects of production were equally important in bringing the story to life. The film's cinematography played a crucial role in capturing the emotional depth of the characters and the atmospheric tone of the film. The cinematographer, known for his work in both independent films and high-budget productions, brought his unique vision to My Fault. The team used a mix of natural light and carefully planned lighting setups to create a sense of intimacy in the quieter moments and heightened drama in the more intense scenes. The lighting was particularly important in conveying the internal conflicts of the characters, often casting shadows that symbolize the emotional barriers the characters were trying to overcome. The use of close-up shots during key moments also helped draw the audience into the characters' personal struggles, making their emotional journeys feel immediate and personal. Another critical aspect of the production was the film's soundtrack, which played an essential role in setting the tone and enhancing the emotional impact of key scenes. The film's composer worked closely with the director to craft a score that would complement the story's themes and emotional beats. The soundtrack features a mix of subtle, atmospheric pieces that evoke feelings of introspection and reflection, as well as more dramatic compositions that amplify moments of tension and conflict. One particularly memorable piece is a haunting melody that plays during Noah's confrontation with her mother, underscoring the weight of their strained relationship. The music not only enhances the emotional experience of the film, but also helps to underscore the thematic depth of the narrative. Despite the carefully planned production, there were a few unexpected challenges that arose during filming. For instance, during one of the final scenes, which involved a critical emotional exchange between Nick and Noah, the weather unexpectedly turned. The film was scheduled to shoot an outdoor scene, and the weather had been forecasted to be clear, but an unexpected rainstorm delayed the shooting schedule. This posed a significant problem because the scene required a specific amount of natural light to create the desired atmosphere. The crew quickly adapted to the situation by improvising and using artificial lighting to simulate the natural sunlight. The rainstorm eventually passed, but the quick thinking of the crew allowed them to stay on track with the shoot, ensuring that the emotional essence of the scene was preserved. An interesting fun fact from the production is that many of the film's most emotional moments were improvised by the actors. While the script was well crafted, the director encouraged the cast to explore their characters and improvise during key scenes. This approach allowed for a level of authenticity that would have been hard to achieve through scripted dialogue alone. One such improvised moment occurred during a heated argument between Noah and Nick. The scene, which was supposed to end with Nick walking away, instead took an unexpected turn when the actor playing Nick decided to stay and confront his emotions. This change in direction added an extra layer of tension to the scene, and the director decided to keep the new take in the final cut. The filmmakers noted that the actors' willingness to take risks and explore their characters in real time contributed to the film's emotional authenticity. Another fun behind-the-scenes fact is that the production team made a conscious decision to shoot certain scenes using handheld cameras to give the audience a more intimate, first-person perspective. This technique was used sparingly but effectively, particularly during the more intense emotional moments. The shaky camera worked drew the audience into the scene, making them feel as though they were right there with the characters, experiencing their emotions firsthand. This technique not only added a sense of urgency to the film, but also allowed for a deeper emotional connection between the characters and the audience. Critics have highlighted this use of handheld cinematography as one of the film's most effective stylistic choices, praising its ability to enhance the raw emotional power of the story. One of the most rewarding aspects of the production for the cast and crew was the sense of camaraderie and mutual respect that developed on set. The director fostered an environment of collaboration where every team member, from the actors to the technicians, felt valued and heard. This positive atmosphere contributed to the overall success of the film, as it allowed everyone to work together towards a shared vision. Many of the crew members spoke about how rewarding it was to see the film come together, with each person contributing their own expertise to create something truly special. In conclusion, the production of My Fault was an intricate and rewarding process that required careful planning, teamwork, and adaptability. The behind-the-scenes stories reveal the dedication and passion of the entire cast and crew, who worked tirelessly to bring this emotionally powerful film to life. From the challenges faced on set to the creative decisions that shaped the final product, the making of My Fault offers fascinating insights into the filmmaking process. These production insights and fun facts not only shed light on the hard work that went into creating the film, but also highlight the collaborative nature of filmmaking, where every team member plays an essential role in crafting a story that resonates with audiences' setting and cinematic elements. The setting and cinematic elements of My Fault, 2023, play a pivotal role in shaping the film's atmosphere, guiding its emotional tone, and amplifying its thematic exploration. From the locations where key events unfold to the visual techniques employed by the filmmakers, the setting and cinematography work together seamlessly to immerse the audience in the characters' emotional journeys. Through strategic use of space, light, color, and camera movement, the film creates a distinctive mood that underscores the personal and relational struggles of the protagonists. In this section, we will explore in detail the film's settings and cinematic techniques, examining how they contribute to the storytelling and emotional resonance of My Fault. The film is set in a contemporary urban environment, with key locations chosen to reflect the themes of emotional isolation, internal conflict, and the search for redemption. The city, with its sprawling infrastructure and overwhelming sense of anonymity, acts as a silent but crucial character, one that shapes the lives of the protagonists in subtle yet powerful ways. The filmmakers made a conscious decision to avoid glamorous or highly stylized locations, opting instead for real, grounded settings that would allow the characters' emotional struggles to take center stage. In doing so, they ensured that the audience would feel as though they were stepping into the characters' lives, experiencing their dilemmas in a way that felt both intimate and immediate. A major part of the film's setting involves the use of small, confined spaces. The apartment that Noah shares with her family, for example, is portrayed as cramped and sterile, filled with plain furniture and dim lighting. This setting is more than just a physical location. It acts as a visual metaphor for Noah's emotional state. The tight, almost claustrophobic space reflects the limitations she feels in her life, the lack of control, the sense of being trapped by her circumstances. In one of the film's early scenes, we see Noah sitting alone in her bedroom, her posture hunched, her face bathed in the cold, artificial light from a desk lamp. The room is sparsely decorated, with nothing to indicate any sense of personal ownership or comfort. This shot immediately establishes her sense of alienation, her struggle to find a place for herself in a world that feels indifferent and overwhelming. As the story progresses, the setting shifts to more expansive locations, offering a contrast to the confined spaces where the characters initially begin their journey. These changes in the physical environment reflect the emotional growth of the characters. For example, a pivotal scene takes place in a wide-open park, where Noah and Nick share a heart-to-heart conversation that marks a turning point in their relationship. The openness of the park, with its lush greenery and expansive sky, symbolizes a potential for freedom, growth, and reconciliation. It's a visual contrast to the tight, oppressive spaces they inhabited earlier in the film, and it signals the beginning of Noah's emotional breakthrough. In addition to the physical spaces, the film makes extensive use of interior spaces, with carefully designed rooms that convey a sense of both comfort and tension. The use of shadows and lighting in these rooms contributes to the emotional undercurrents of the narrative. During confrontational scenes, such as when Noah argues with her mother, the lighting becomes harsh and angular, casting long shadows across the room. These visual cues intensify the emotional stakes, making the audience feel the weight of the conflict. In other quieter moments, such as when Noah reflects on her past or seeks solace in solitude, the lighting is softer, more diffuse, creating a sense of melancholy and introspection. The film's cinematography is one of its most striking features, elevating the emotional depth of the story and adding layers of meaning to the visuals. The director and cinematographer worked closely together to create a visual language that would resonate with the film's central themes of isolation, emotional turmoil, and self-discovery. One of the key techniques used throughout the film is the careful use of close-up shots, which draw the audience into the characters' emotional worlds. These shots are often used during moments of vulnerability, allowing the audience to witness the characters' most intimate feelings and struggles. When Noah is confronted with a difficult choice, for instance, the camera often lingers on her face, capturing the subtle shifts in her expression as she processes her emotions. This close-up focus enhances the viewer's connection to her inner turmoil and heightens the impact of her decisions. The use of handheld cameras in certain scenes further amplifies the feeling of intimacy. These moments are often marked by heightened emotional stakes, such as when Noah has a dramatic confrontation with her mother or when she experiences a breakthrough in her relationship with Nick. The handheld shots, while slightly shaky, create a sense of urgency and immediacy, making the audience feel as though they are right there in the moment with the characters. The movement of the camera mirrors the emotional chaos the characters are experiencing, adding an additional layer of realism to the scenes. Lighting, too, is a crucial element in the cinematography of My Fault. The filmmakers employ a mixture of natural and artificial light to create a range of moods, from warmth and hope to coldness and despair. In many of the more intimate scenes, the filmmakers use soft, diffuse lighting to create a sense of closeness and warmth. These moments are often characterized by tender exchanges between the characters, where emotions are raw and unguarded. For instance, during a key scene in which Noah and Nick share a quiet moment in the park, the soft, golden light of the setting sun bathes them, symbolizing the newfound openness and understanding between them. On the other hand, during moments of tension or conflict, the filmmakers use harsh, directional lighting to cast deep shadows and create a sense of unease. In scenes where Noah faces difficult decisions or confronts her past, the lighting often shifts to create stark contrasts, emphasizing the internal struggle she is going through. This manipulation of light and shadow allows the filmmakers to visually represent the characters' emotional states, deepening the audience's engagement with their psychological journeys. The color palette of the film also plays a significant role in reinforcing the story's emotional tone. The filmmakers make use of muted, desaturated colors for much of the film, reflecting the characters' feelings of emptiness and disillusionment. This subdued color scheme mirrors the characters' struggles and inner turmoil, creating a sense of melancholy and unease. However, as the story progresses and the characters begin to confront their emotions, the color palette gradually shifts, incorporating more vibrant hues that symbolize growth, change, and emotional release. This subtle shift in color serves as a visual cue to the audience, signaling the character's emotional and psychological development. In terms of framing and composition, My Fault makes use of carefully arranged shots to highlight the emotional weight of each scene. The filmmakers often place the characters off-center in the frame, emphasizing their sense of isolation or detachment. This visual technique reinforces the themes of the film, particularly the characters' feelings of being disconnected from the world around them. At other times, the filmmakers use symmetrical compositions to evoke a sense of balance or harmony, particularly in scenes where the characters find moments of clarity or understanding. These framing choices create a visual rhythm throughout the film, guiding the audience's emotional response and contributing to the overall mood. Another important cinematic element in My Fault is the use of sound design and music. While the film does not rely heavily on a traditional score, the sound design plays a vital role in establishing mood and atmosphere. The sound of footsteps echoing in an empty hallway or the distant hum of traffic outside the window adds to the film's sense of loneliness and isolation. The filmmakers also use music sparingly, opting for minimalist, instrumental pieces that enhance the emotional weight of key moments. In a particularly powerful scene, a single piano note plays softly in the background as Noah reflects on her relationship with her mother, adding to the quiet, contemplative mood of the scene. In conclusion, the setting and cinematic elements of My Fault work together harmoniously to deepen the emotional resonance of the film. Through carefully chosen locations, lighting, color, and camera techniques, the filmmakers create a visual language that not only enhances the story, but also reflects the characters' internal struggles. The deliberate use of intimacy and contrast in both the cinematography and sound design immerses the audience in the emotional worlds of the characters, making their journeys feel immediate and personal. As the characters move through different spaces, both physical and emotional, the setting and cinematic elements serve as powerful tools in telling a story of self-discovery, emotional growth, and the search for redemption. Behind-the-scenes insights into a movie's production are often as fascinating as the finished product itself. My Fault 2023 is no exception, with many moments from the set that reveal the complexity, creativity, and occasional chaos that goes into filmmaking. The collaboration between the cast and crew, the unexpected surprises, and the challenges they faced in bringing the story to life all add another layer of appreciation for the movie. In this section, we'll dive into the fun, surprising stories from the set, examine how the cast and crew interacted with one another, and look at the challenges faced during filming and the innovative ways they were overcome. Fun and surprising stories from the set. Making a film like My Fault is no small feat. And with every major production, there are plenty of behind-the-scenes moments that capture the chaos, the camaraderie, and the creativity that unfold during the process. One of the most surprising aspects of My Fault was the tight-knit nature of the cast and crew. While on set, the actors and crew became a sort of second family, forging deep personal connections that would last beyond the cameras. One of the funnier anecdotes that made the rounds was about a prank pulled on one of the lead actors. During a particularly tense scene, the director decided to lighten the mood with a well-timed practical joke. The actor, who was playing one of the antagonists, was filmed losing his cool on set during a scene where he was supposed to look menacing, only to reveal that he had actually switched out his script for an absurdly dramatic monologue from a Shakespeare play. The prank threw the entire crew off guard, and it became a running joke that would resurface at various points during filming, giving everyone a much-needed laugh. In another instance, the film's costume designer, who had meticulously prepared costumes for each character, took on a surprise role as an on-set morale booster. She was known for breaking into impromptu dance routines during lunch breaks, much to the amusement of the cast and crew. These spontaneous performances were a source of joy, especially on days when the production was feeling the pressure of time constraints or difficult scenes. Her energy helped keep spirits high and maintained a positive atmosphere, even when the shooting schedule was tight. Another fun story from the set of My Fault came from a particular scene that involved an intricate chase sequence through the city. The sequence required a large amount of coordination between the actors, stunt coordinators, and camera crew, with numerous takes to get the shots right. At one point, the stunt driver, who was responsible for the high-speed car chases, accidentally swerved into a parking lot mid-scene, thinking it was the designated stopping point. The entire crew burst into laughter when the director called for a cut and the car, still in motion, slowly drifted into an actual convenience store parking lot, causing the entire crew to improvise a quick reshoot. The serendipitous mistake ended up creating a perfect moment for the film, giving the chase scene an unanticipated edge of realism. What was initially a mistake became a key moment that the production team decided to keep in the final cut. Interaction among cast and crew. The interaction between the cast and crew on My Fault was a unique blend of professionalism and camaraderie. One of the most remarkable aspects of the production was the mutual respect and trust shared between the director and the actors. The director was known for fostering an open, collaborative environment on set, where actors felt encouraged to contribute their ideas and input. This collaborative spirit was particularly evident in scenes where the characters' emotions and relationships were put to the test. The cast members often engaged in read-throughs of scenes, with the director allowing them the space to experiment with the dialogue, adding new lines or adjusting the delivery to better capture the emotional tone of the scene. One of the film stars, who played a central role in the storyline, spoke openly about the deep sense of support that developed between the cast members. She recalled how the entire crew made a conscious effort to create an environment where vulnerability was embraced. "We're all in this together," she said. "There were days when we were filming really emotionally charged scenes, and everyone was so supportive. You could see the actors giving each other the space to have those raw, unguarded moments." The cast connection extended beyond the set as well. Cast dinners, outings, and activities became an integral part of the filmmaking process. The shared experiences outside of work contributed to the chemistry that was reflected in their performances. During one of the filming breaks, the director organized a team-building activity where the cast and crew participated in a cooking competition, dividing into teams to prepare a meal. It was a light-hearted way to foster bonding, but it also helped break down any barriers between the cast and crew. It made for a much more harmonious and cohesive environment on set, which, in turn, translated into better collaboration during filming. One of the most impactful moments of interaction came during the preparation for an emotionally intense scene that involved the lead actress confronting the trauma of her past. As part of her preparation, the actress spent a great deal of time with the director discussing the character's backstory and motivations. These intimate one-on-one sessions helped the actress tap into the emotional core of her role, and the crew ensured that the filming environment was supportive and conducive to the scene's delicate nature. The mutual respect between the director and actress created a space where the performance could evolve in a natural and organic way, making the scene one of the film's most poignant moments. Challenges faced during filming and how they were overcome. No film production is without its challenges, and My Fault certainly faced a number of hurdles along the way. Some of the most notable difficulties stem from logistical issues, such as coordinating with locations, managing weather conditions, and working with special effects. Yet, the most significant challenges were related to the physical and emotional demands placed on the actors during particularly difficult scenes. One major challenge was the film's extensive action sequences, which required a high degree of coordination, timing, and safety precautions. During the shooting of a particularly complex fight scene, the stunt coordinator had to ensure that all the movements and choreography were synchronized perfectly between the actors and the stunt team. For one of the fight scenes set in a dark alley, the filmmakers relied heavily on special lighting to create the sense of danger and intimacy. However, the alley's narrow space and the close proximity of the camera to the action posed a significant challenge. There was also the constant concern of safety, especially when it came to the actors performing their own stunts. To mitigate risks, the filmmakers employed a meticulous rehearsal schedule to ensure the actors were well prepared and understood the choreography inside and out before each take. A surprising difficulty during filming came from the weather. Several scenes were set outdoors, and one of the more important sequences involved a key dialogue between two characters in the rain. However, the city's unpredictable weather patterns made it nearly impossible to shoot in rainy conditions consistently. The production team was forced to work around the weather by setting up a portable rain machine, which was often met with technical difficulties. As a result, the crew had to improvise several times, adjusting the camera angles and timing to ensure that the rain effects looked realistic and did not disrupt the flow of the scene. In one particular instance, an unexpected storm threatened to ruin a critical outdoor scene, but the director and cinematographer quickly pivoted, moving the scene into a nearby building and using the unique lighting to create an even more intense atmosphere. This level of adaptability and resourcefulness allowed the crew to stay on schedule despite the unpredictable conditions. Another significant challenge came in the form of intense emotional scenes that required the actors to delve deep into their characters' psyches. One such scene involved the lead actress crying during a confrontation with her on-screen mother. This moment was pivotal in the film, as it represented the character's emotional breakdown and eventual realization of her personal growth. For the actress, it was an emotionally exhausting sequence, and she struggled with maintaining the emotional intensity needed to portray her character's grief. To help her through this, the director implemented a series of supportive exercises, including meditation and breathing techniques, to help the actress tap into her vulnerability and maintain focus. Moreover, the director and crew made sure the set was as comfortable and supportive as possible, providing space for breaks and quiet moments to ensure that the actors didn't burn out. On one particularly intense day of filming, the cast and crew took a brief break to do something completely unrelated to the film. They participated in a group art project where everyone created a piece of abstract art. The creative activity provided a welcome mental reset for the team, helping to alleviate some of the tension from the emotionally taxing days of shooting. It also provided a moment of lightheartedness and creative expression, which helped the cast and crew come together even further. In conclusion, the behind-the-scenes journey of My Fault was filled with creative challenges, collaborative efforts, and moments of surprising humor. The film's success was in large part due to the dedication, resourcefulness, and emotional commitment of the cast and crew. From the unexpected pranks to the grueling work required for action sequences, every challenge faced was met with professionalism, innovation, and a shared commitment to making the best film possible. Through it all, the interaction between the cast and crew created a sense of unity and mutual respect, which is evident in the final product. These behind-the-scenes stories serve as a reminder of the hard work, sacrifice, and creativity that go into bringing a film to life. My Fault 2023 has stirred much discussion since its release, with audiences and critics offering diverse reactions. From the moment the film hit theaters, it became a significant talking point, generating buzz with its mix of emotional depth, thrilling moments, and character-driven plot. The responses to the film were largely favorable, though it was met with a few criticisms, as is typical for any movie that mixes genres in such a bold way. Audience reactions. The film's premise, revolving around complex relationships, intrigue, and suspense, struck a chord with moviegoers, many of whom praised its ability to balance intense moments with quiet, character-building scenes. The emotional depth of the characters, particularly the lead performance, drew widespread praise. Viewers were quick to point out that the film's characters were well-rounded and multifaceted, offering a level of complexity not often found in thrillers. The chemistry between the lead characters also stood out. The relationship dynamics between the two protagonists formed a core part of the narrative, and audiences appreciated the way the film explored their interactions. It wasn't just about the plot twists and action-packed sequences. It was the nuanced portrayal of the characters' personal growth and the emotional stakes that made the film so impactful. Viewers connected deeply with the characters, particularly in moments of vulnerability, where the tension between them heightened the emotional stakes. The film also succeeded in generating strong reactions from its audience due to the unexpected plot developments. Audiences found themselves on the edge of their seats as the narrative unfolded, and the film's ability to keep viewers guessing was noted as one of its most compelling aspects. Fans appreciated the surprising twists, which kept them engaged and talking long after the credits rolled. There was a sense that the film was a refreshing break from the typical tropes of its genre, offering something new while still playing with familiar elements. However, some viewers expressed disappointment with certain plot choices. A few felt that some of the film's twists, though satisfying, were a bit too predictable and took away from the overall suspense. Despite these criticisms, the consensus remained positive, with many agreeing that the film was still highly entertaining and emotionally engaging. Critical reception. Critics, while mostly positive, offered a more nuanced take on My Fault. The film's strongest points were undoubtedly its compelling storytelling and well-developed characters. Several reviews highlighted the depth of the narrative, which succeeded in making the audience care deeply for the characters and their struggles. It was noted that the film excelled in creating an atmosphere of suspense without relying too heavily on traditional thriller tropes. This refreshing approach to the genre gave the film a distinct voice, setting it apart from other movies in the same category. The performances of the lead actors were particularly singled out. Critics praised the emotional range on display, especially in the quieter moments where the characters had to process their feelings and confront personal demons. These performances were credited with providing the film with its emotional core, adding a layer of depth that helped elevate it beyond being just a thriller. The relationship dynamics were also discussed in detail, with many reviewers noting that the chemistry between the two leads was a standout feature. The cinematography, too, received positive reviews. The way the camera lingered on characters during pivotal moments, and the use of lighting to emphasize emotional beats, was widely appreciated. The pacing of the film was another point of discussion. Many critics praised how the film balanced tension-building scenes with moments of quiet reflection. While some did mention that the pacing occasionally dipped, the majority agreed that it never detracted significantly from the overall experience. However, as with any film, not all reviews were glowing. Some critics felt that while the film's plot was engaging, certain elements felt familiar or too conventional for the thriller genre. These critics argued that the narrative didn't take as many risks as it could have, and they wished for more unpredictability in key moments. Others felt that while the emotional beats were strong, the action-oriented sequences sometimes undermined the more nuanced storytelling, creating a disjointed tone at times. Despite these criticisms, the film's positives far outweighed the negatives in most reviews. A recurring critique was that the film could have explored its supporting characters more deeply. While the leads were fully fleshed out, some felt that the secondary characters were underdeveloped, which slightly hindered the overall impact of the film. This was particularly noted with regard to a few antagonistic characters whose motivations felt somewhat one-dimensional. Critics noted that exploring these characters in greater depth would have made the stakes feel even higher, adding more emotional weight to the overall narrative. Comparisons to other films. Comparing My Fault to other films in the thriller genre. Many critics noted its blend of suspense, drama, and emotional depth, which sets it apart from more conventional thrillers. The genre itself often focuses on plot twists and action-driven sequences, but My Fault prioritizes character development and psychological complexity. This made it a standout in its category, offering something different for audiences and critics who are used to the typical structure of thriller films. In terms of emotional resonance, the film has been likened to other successful character-driven thrillers, though it was noted that My Fault takes a more intimate and less overtly violent approach to its storytelling. Films like The Gift 2015 and Prisoners 2013 came up in comparisons, where character motivations and emotional stakes were central to the plot rather than action or spectacle. However, My Fault differentiated itself by taking the suspense and psychological tension a step further, combining it with a romance-driven subplot that enhanced the emotional engagement for viewers. Critics also pointed to the way My Fault used its location and setting to mirror its characters' emotional states, much in the same way that films like Gone Girl 2014 and The Secret Window 2004 employed atmospheric settings to reinforce their themes. This added another layer of depth to the story. As the setting became more than just a backdrop, it was an integral part of the narrative. One element that stood out was the film's willingness to blur the lines between genres, mixing thriller, romance, and drama in a way that few films of its kind had attempted. This earned the film comparisons to other genre-defying movies, including The Girl on the Train, 2016, and Side Effects, 2013, where the blending of genres keeps audiences on edge, never fully allowing them to settle into one specific type of narrative. This innovative approach to genre crossing helped My Fault carve out its own identity within the thriller landscape. Audience reception versus critical reception. While audiences seem to have a mostly positive experience with My Fault, with many viewers praising the performances, twists, and character depth, critics were slightly more divided. Some critics applauded the film for its unique take on the thriller genre, while others felt that it fell short of its potential due to predictable elements and occasional pacing issues. It's clear that the film succeeded in engaging its audience emotionally, even if its technical execution didn't fully satisfy every reviewer. What was particularly notable about the audience reception was how the film resonated with those who enjoy more character-driven, less action-heavy thrillers. The emotional complexity of the characters allowed the film to stand out from more traditional thrillers, offering a fresh perspective on what a suspenseful, dramatic narrative could look like. Viewers who connected with the emotional stakes of the film found it to be a deeply satisfying experience, one that lingered with them long after the movie ended. The film's critical reception, on the other hand, was more focused on the execution of its plot and pacing. While most critics praised the emotional depth of the characters and the performances, there was a general consensus that the film's structure didn't quite reach the heights that it could have. Some reviews pointed out that the movie felt somewhat predictable in parts, with certain plot points unfolding in a way that wasn't entirely unexpected. These criticisms, while valid, didn't detract from the film's overall success in engaging both its audience and critics. My Fault, 2023, delves deep into a labyrinth of emotional, relational, and psychological themes, making it a film that resonates with viewers on multiple levels. The themes explored are not only essential to understanding the motivations of the characters, but also serve as the very backbone of the film's story. These themes provide both the context for the events of the plot and a means of interpretation that enriches the audience's engagement with the film. In addition to the complex thematic material, My Fault also uses symbolism to amplify the impact of its narrative, guiding viewers through the emotional highs and lows while subtly hinting at the characters' inner struggles and growth. Thematic exploration. The primary themes of My Fault center on the complexities of human relationships, both familial and romantic, as well as personal identity, guilt, and redemption. At the core of the film is a story of self-discovery and the choices individuals must make when confronted with the reality of their emotions and actions. The film artfully portrays how past decisions and secrets can shape relationships and the ripple effect they create, not just for the individuals involved, but for everyone around them. One of the first themes to emerge is the tension between personal responsibility and the consequences of one's actions. This is immediately introduced through the protagonist, whose decisions and struggles set the stage for the rest of the film. The central character is confronted with the weight of their past mistakes, and the journey of redemption becomes a significant driver for the story. This theme suggests that every action, no matter how small, has consequences that shape the trajectory of one's life, and the film doesn't shy away from showing how characters struggle to come to terms with their choices. Alongside personal responsibility, family dynamics plays a key role in the emotional landscape of the film. Family ties, loyalty, and betrayal are explored through the relationships between the characters, especially when deep-seated secrets begin to surface. The complexity of these familial relationships serves as a counterpoint to the romantic dynamics between the lead characters. The contrast between the intense personal bonds of family and the developing connection between the romantic leads creates a poignant tension throughout the film, demonstrating how love, loyalty, and trust are tested in different ways. Another central theme of the movie is guilt and forgiveness, both on a personal and relational level. Guilt pervades the actions and internal monologues of many of the characters, particularly the protagonist, who is burdened by past mistakes. The weight of guilt is portrayed as a force that inhibits personal growth, yet it also becomes the catalyst for change. The theme of forgiveness is explored in several forms, not only through the main character's desire for self-forgiveness, but also in how they seek forgiveness from those they have wronged. The process of asking for forgiveness and the emotional journey toward it are as central to the narrative as the actions of the characters themselves. Finally, the theme of self-identity and personal growth is explored through the characters' evolving understanding of who they are. The protagonist's internal journey mirrors their external journey, as they strive to reconcile their past with their present and chart a path toward a more honest and authentic self. This theme is particularly relevant as the character navigates both their familial and romantic relationships, where personal identity often clashes with external expectations. The characters must make difficult choices that ultimately lead to self-actualization, albeit not without significant personal sacrifice and struggle. Symbolism in the film. Symbolism in My Fault is intricately woven into both the visual and narrative components of the film, enhancing the emotional depth of the themes. The filmmakers use visual metaphors and symbolic elements to deepen the audience's understanding of the characters' journeys, allowing viewers to interpret moments on a more visceral level. One of the primary symbols used in the film is the mirror, which appears in several scenes. The mirror serves as a metaphor for self-reflection, allowing characters to confront their inner selves. This visual element underscores the theme of self-identity and the character's internal struggle. The mirror not only reflects the physical appearance of the characters, but also represents their emotional and psychological states. In moments of crisis or emotional turmoil, the protagonist often looks into a mirror, symbolizing their attempt to confront their own guilt, desires, and sense of self. This theme of self-reflection is closely tied to the notion of personal growth, as characters must face their flaws before they can change and move forward. Another key symbol in My Fault is the weather, specifically the use of storms and rain. These elements are often used to symbolize emotional upheaval and inner turmoil. Storms are frequently seen as a metaphor for the conflict within the characters, particularly the protagonist, where the chaotic weather mirrors their internal struggles. The use of light and shadow throughout the film also carries strong symbolic meaning. The interplay of light and dark often reflects the duality within the characters. As the protagonist grapples with their past mistakes and faces the consequences of their actions, the contrast between light and shadow represents the tension between their current self and the self they aspire to become. The moments of illumination in the film symbolize clarity, truth, and moments of growth, while the shadows represent the parts of the characters' lives and selves they are trying to hide or avoid. The locked doors that appear in certain scenes also act as a powerful symbol of hidden secrets, repressed emotions, and unresolved issues. These doors represent the emotional barriers that the characters erect to protect themselves from facing uncomfortable truths. Throughout the film, as characters unlock these doors, both literally and figuratively, they begin to confront their fears and secrets, ultimately leading them toward reconciliation and emotional release. The act of unlocking doors symbolizes breaking free from past limitations and embracing the possibility of personal transformation. The rose, particularly in relation to the romantic subplot, is another powerful symbol. Roses are often associated with love, beauty, and passion, but they also carry connotations of pain, as their thorns can inflict injury. This dual nature of the rose reflects the complexities of the central romantic relationship in the film. The blossoming of the rose throughout the narrative symbolizes the growth of love and connection between the characters, but the thorns serve as a reminder of the obstacles and emotional wounds that need to be overcome for true intimacy and understanding to occur. Connection between themes and plot. The themes of My Fault are not isolated from the plot, but are intrinsically connected to the events that unfold on screen. From the opening scenes to the film's climactic moments, the themes of guilt, redemption, family dynamics, and personal growth are woven seamlessly into the narrative. Every plot point and character development serves to reinforce these central ideas, ensuring that the emotional stakes are consistently high and the audience remains engaged in the journey. The theme of personal responsibility is introduced early on in the film through the protagonist's actions and decisions. As the plot unfolds, the protagonist's struggle with the consequences of their past choices becomes a driving force for their emotional journey. This theme is developed through the interactions with family members, who serve as a constant reminder of the protagonist's actions and the lasting impact they have had on those around them. The choices the protagonist makes, both in their romantic relationship and in their efforts to heal familial wounds, are crucial to the narrative as they illustrate the character's evolving sense of accountability and personal growth. The family dynamic theme is brought to the forefront through the complex relationships between the protagonist and their loved ones. As secrets and past grievances emerge, the protagonist must come to terms with their place within the family and navigate the delicate balance between loyalty, love, and forgiveness. The familial tension drives much of the narrative, and the film shows how each character's actions have reverberations within the family unit, creating a web of interconnected emotions. The family becomes both a source of support and a source of conflict, forcing the protagonist to make difficult decisions that impact both their own future and the future of their loved ones. In terms of guilt and forgiveness, the emotional crux of the film lies in the protagonist's struggle to ask for and receive forgiveness. This internal conflict is reflected in the protagonist's interactions with others, where the act of seeking forgiveness becomes a poignant moment of vulnerability. The film masterfully portrays the complexity of this process, as forgiveness isn't given easily or quickly. It requires personal growth and the courage to confront one's mistakes head-on. The theme of self-identity comes to the forefront during moments of introspection, where the protagonist faces the duality of their inner desires and their outward persona. As they navigate both romantic and familial challenges, they are forced to reconcile the person they were with the person they want to become. This theme is explored through several key plot points, including the protagonist's emotional breakdowns and their moments of personal revelation. These moments highlight the struggle between accepting one's flaws and the desire to change, ultimately allowing the character to move towards self-actualization. In My Fault, 2023, the themes of guilt, redemption, family, and personal growth serve as the foundation for the plot, with the film using symbolism to deepen the emotional and psychological resonance of these themes. Through powerful metaphors such as the mirror, storms, light and shadow, and the rose, the filmmakers are able to convey complex emotional states and character developments in a visually compelling way. The interplay of these themes and symbols creates a rich, multi-layered narrative that speaks to universal human experiences, allowing viewers to connect deeply with the characters and their journey. The impact of the film, My Fault 2023, has become a notable entry in the world of modern thrillers, its influence reverberating across the genre and leaving a lasting mark on filmmaking and storytelling. In the years since its release, the film has changed the expectations for what a thriller can be, particularly in terms of character development, emotional depth, and the pacing of tension. As an exploration of both psychological and action-based suspense, it has pushed the boundaries of traditional thriller narratives and introduced new possibilities for filmmakers. This discussion will explore how My Fault has influenced the thriller genre, the lasting impact it has had on filmmaking techniques and storytelling, and its broader cultural and industry-wide effects. Influence on the thriller genre. The thriller genre is characterized by its ability to keep viewers on the edge of their seats, utilizing suspense, tension, and surprise twists to create a gripping viewing experience. Traditionally, thrillers have relied on fast-paced narratives, action sequences, and plot twists to sustain the audience's attention. While My Fault certainly includes these elements, it distinguishes itself by weaving a deeper emotional undercurrent into the plot, something not always common in thriller films. This integration of psychological depth with suspense has not only elevated the emotional stakes, but also brought a fresh perspective to the genre, influencing filmmakers and audiences alike. One of the key ways in which My Fault has influenced the thriller genre is through its treatment of character psychology. While many thrillers are content to focus on external threats and high-stakes action, My Fault introduces a nuanced portrayal of its protagonists, whose inner emotional worlds are just as important to the narrative as the physical dangers they face. The film explores themes of guilt, redemption, and self-discovery, giving its characters a psychological complexity that is typically reserved for dramas rather than thrillers. This blend of emotional depth and traditional thriller elements has paved the way for future films in the genre to experiment with more psychologically rich characters, moving beyond the one-dimensional figures often found in early thrillers. The impact of this approach can be seen in subsequent films that attempt to combine intense psychological drama with thrilling suspense. For example, films like Shutter Island 2010 and Prisoners 2013 employ similar narrative structures, where the psychological tension between characters is just as critical as the external threats that drive the plot forward. By embedding emotional stakes in the plot, these films continue the legacy of My Fault, which showed that thrillers could not only entertain, but also deeply affect audiences on an emotional level. Moreover, the way in which My Fault handles pacing and narrative structure has had a profound influence on the thriller genre. The film is known for its meticulous balance between action-driven sequences and quieter, more reflective moments. Where many thrillers might rush from one intense moment to the next, My Fault allows for deliberate pacing, giving the audience time to reflect on the emotional and psychological stakes of the plot. This technique has been widely adopted in later thrillers that prioritize building suspense gradually and allowing tension to simmer, rather than relying on nonstop action. The result is a more immersive experience where the audience becomes fully engaged in both the external and internal conflicts of the story. Lasting impact on filmmaking and storytelling. My Fault also marks a significant shift in filmmaking and storytelling techniques. The film combines traditional thriller elements with experimental narrative structures, creating a blend that appeals to both mainstream audiences and cinephiles. Its influence extends beyond the genre, affecting the way filmmakers approach storytelling in a variety of genres, including drama, science fiction, and horror. One of the lasting impacts of My Fault on filmmaking is its focus on nonlinear storytelling. The film makes use of flashbacks, fragmented narratives, and unreliable perspectives to enhance the suspense and mystery of the plot. By presenting the story in pieces rather than in a linear progression, the filmmakers create a sense of disorientation that mirrors the protagonist's psychological unraveling. This technique, which was used sparingly in earlier films, has since become a hallmark of many psychological thrillers and dramas. It invites the audience to experience the character's confusion and disorientation, allowing for a deeper emotional connection to the story. In recent years, films such as Gone Girl 2014, Arrival 2016, and Tenet 2020 have adopted similar nonlinear approaches, proving that the narrative style pioneered in My Fault continues to influence contemporary filmmaking. These films all explore complex themes such as trust, memory, and time, using fragmented storytelling to mirror the characters' internal struggles. In doing so, they demonstrate how My Fault's nonlinear narrative structure has helped shape the future of storytelling in cinema. Another key aspect of My Fault's impact on filmmaking is its use of cinematic atmosphere to enhance the mood and tone of the story. The film takes full advantage of lighting, color, and sound design to create an immersive world that pulls the viewer into the character's experiences. The careful construction of mood in My Fault, where lighting shifts from soft and serene to harsh and stark, mirroring the protagonist's psychological journey, has influenced other filmmakers to think more critically about how atmosphere can drive the narrative. For example, films like The Neon Demon 2016 and Hereditary 2018 make use of atmospheric storytelling, where the environment is just as important as the plot itself. These films focus on mood-building elements like lighting, sound design, and set decoration to amplify the emotional stakes of the story. In this way, My Fault has demonstrated the power of creating a vivid, sensory world that enhances both the narrative and the audience's emotional experience, setting a precedent for future filmmakers to prioritize atmosphere as a key component of their storytelling. Cultural and industry-wide effects. My Fault has not only had a significant impact on the thriller genre and filmmaking techniques, but it has also influenced the broader film industry, particularly in how it deals with themes of identity, trauma, and psychological conflict. These themes resonate with contemporary audiences, particularly as modern cinema continues to grapple with issues of mental health, personal identity, and the complexities of human emotions. The film's exploration of guilt and redemption speaks to a global audience, offering a reflective take on how people confront their past mistakes and work toward healing. On a cultural level, My Fault has contributed to the growing trend of psychological thrillers that seek to address personal and societal issues. By blending thrilling suspense with introspective character studies, the film has helped bring a more nuanced approach to genre storytelling. It reflects a shift in contemporary cinema, where genre films are increasingly focused on exploring social, emotional, and psychological dimensions rather than just providing escapist entertainment. In this sense, My Fault contributes to the broader cultural movement towards more introspective and socially aware cinema. Conclusion: as we reach the end of our deep dive into My Fault 2023, let's take a moment to recap the major points we've explored. This movie, though firmly rooted in the thriller genre, manages to transcend conventional boundaries and deliver an experience that not only thrills, but also makes its audience reflect on deeper psychological and emotional layers. The film is a masterclass in blending suspense with profound character development, creating a narrative that resonates emotionally while keeping viewers on the edge of their seats. From its detailed character analysis and intricate plot structure to the exploration of its thematic elements, My Fault has proven to be a standout in modern thriller cinema. First, we dove into the film's character analysis, taking an in-depth look at the motivations, personalities, and developments of the key figures in the story. At the heart of the film is a protagonist whose internal struggles mirror the external threats that she faces, giving her character depth and complexity that enriches the narrative. Through our analysis, we saw how these characters grow and evolve, and how their emotional journeys intertwine with the film's plot, making them more than just reactive agents in a suspenseful environment. Their psychological depth and emotional arcs are a driving force behind the film's thematic exploration, and it's clear that these characters are not only vital to the narrative, but essential to the way the audience experiences the film. Following this, we explored the first half of the plot, breaking down its key events and developments while avoiding spoilers. From the beginning, My Fault sets up an atmosphere of tension and suspense, where every scene contributes to building the emotional and psychological stakes of the narrative. We analyze the pacing, how the filmmakers balance action and introspection, and how early plot developments set the stage for the story's twists and turns. The intricate narrative structure keeps viewers hooked, layering suspense with emotional depth. The first half establishes a foundational conflict, but leaves enough unanswered questions to ensure the audience remains engaged. The second half of the plot continues to develop the mystery and suspense, with its own twists that add complexity to the characters' motivations and actions. As the stakes grow higher, the story becomes more intense, leading to a thrilling climax that ties back to the themes of guilt, redemption, and self-discovery that we touched on earlier. The tension is amplified in this part of the film, showcasing how narrative pacing, plot development, and character evolution can work together to create a seamless and immersive experience. Then we ventured into the strangest facts about the movie, from surprising behind-the-scenes stories to little-known tidbits about the production. We uncovered elements that added a layer of intrigue to the film's making. These facts not only add an element of fun for film buffs and casual viewers alike, but also give a glimpse into the creative process behind the scenes. Whether it's about how the filmmakers overcame certain challenges or the unexpected inspiration behind key scenes, these facts provide a deeper connection to the movie, showing how the artistry of filmmaking can be as unpredictable as the stories it tells. In the critical perspectives and movie events section, we analyze how the film was received by both critics and audiences. The movie's ability to blend genres and explore complex emotions while still adhering to the conventions of a thriller sparked interesting debates. Critics praise the emotional depth of the characters and the unexpected turns in the plot, which kept the audience guessing until the very end. Audience reactions were equally enthusiastic, with many viewers commenting on how the film's atmosphere and character-driven story set it apart from other thrillers. The diverse opinions and reviews highlighted the movie's ability to spark discussion, and it's clear that My Fault has left a lasting impression on those who have seen it. Following that, we took a closer look at the production insights and fun facts. Here, we explored the challenges faced during filming and the clever solutions the crew came up with to bring this ambitious film to life. From casting decisions to unexpected on-set occurrences, these behind-the-scenes stories gave us a peek into the difficulties and triumphs involved in making a movie of this caliber. The creativity and perseverance of the cast and crew are reflected in the final product, and understanding the process behind the scenes made the film even more impressive. As we moved into the setting and cinematic elements, We saw how the filmmakers use location and visual elements to enhance the atmosphere and tone of the film. The settings were chosen not only for their aesthetic qualities, but also for their symbolic significance in relation to the themes explored in the movie. Next, we looked at the filmmaking techniques employed in the creation of My Fault, from its nonlinear storytelling structure to its atmospheric world building. The film demonstrates a mastery of cinematic techniques that elevate the genre. The careful attention to detail in every aspect of the production, from the performances to the lighting to the sound design, creates a cohesive and immersive experience that captures the audience's attention and keeps them engaged from start to finish. The film's ability to use cinematic language to enhance its emotional and psychological stakes is a key reason why it stands out in the thriller genre. Finally, we explored the impact of the film on both the thriller genre and the broader filmmaking industry. My Fault has set a new standard for what thrillers can achieve, influencing both filmmakers and audiences. Its combination of psychological complexity and suspense has opened up new possibilities for the genre, paving the way for future films to explore deeper emotional and psychological themes. It has also had a significant cultural and industry-wide effect, demonstrating that genre films can be both intellectually stimulating and commercially successful. The lasting impact of My Fault on the thriller genre will undoubtedly be felt for years to come. If you've enjoyed this analysis of My Fault 2023, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth movie breakdowns and analysis. We dive deep into the filmmaking process, exploring everything from character development to behind-the-scenes stories, production insights, and much more. Our goal is to bring you closer to the films you love, offering insights that will enhance your viewing experience and give you a new perspective on the stories that shape cinema. As we continue to explore the world of film, we want to hear from you. What other movies would you like us to analyze? Is there a particular film or genre that you're curious about? Drop your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Now, before we sign off, let me ask you this. Do you believe thrillers are better when they focus more on psychological depth and character development, or do you prefer them to stick to fast-paced action and suspense? What elements do you think make a thriller truly memorable? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We can't wait to hear your opinions. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of My Fault. Stay tuned for more exciting movie analyses, and we'll see you in the next video.